Are you guys pumped for tonight's event?
Yes.
Jazzed. Can't wait. Dude, stoked.
Okay, we are 1 day away before E3 unofficially kicks off with EA's press conference tomorrow for E3 2017. Technically, it doesn't start till Tuesday for actual E3 where people can actually go and see stuff, but everyone knows when the press conferences start, that's when E3 begins. Now, I spent about 6 hours or more rewatching all the press conferences from last year, so I just kind of want to build a little bit of hype and go through a little bit of a retrospective to showcase the games that they showed off for Sony, Microsoft, Ubisoft, Bethesda, and EA. The missing games, what haven't we seen since? The games that actually showed and came out, what did I think of them? You know, and so forth. This will be pretty quick. I'm not going to go through every single detail and go through the promises made for each company. Just kind of a brief little retrospective. I guess we'll just jump right in and you'll see. We'll going in order, and of course, that means we kick off with EA, which was by far the worst press conference of last year. I could not believe it. They had some excellent games in it. So let's begin with Titanfall 2. Titanfall, I never played the original game because I never had an Xbox One, but it always looked cool because I love mechs. And Titanfall 2 had a good story trailer, but I wasn't sure how it was going to be. And then I played it last year, and it was phenomenal. It was a fantastic game. I don't think we'll be seeing any more Titanfall 2 this year. Maybe some DLC or something like that, but probably not. They're probably not going to talk about that at all. I'm not going to talk about EA Sports, any of those games, which ate up a lot of that press conference. I'm sure some of you like that stuff, but I just could not care less about any of that. A lot of just weird, embarrassing stuff. What were they doing, really? Mass Effect Andromeda, that came out and is a you know, piece of garbage. It's not that bad, but it's pretty bad. It's just, you know, mediocre compared to some amazing games that came before it. But anyway, I knew from this press conference that it was going to be bad, or I had an inclination that it could be bad, because while this game was coming out, you know, half a year away, they just showed a developer diary. They showed some gameplay footage, but they also just did another developer diary. That's what they love to do. I'm going to skip ahead and talk about Star Wars as well. I thought this was going to be the year where they're going to show all kinds of Star Wars stuff, which they did. They talked about 3 games in development. They just had developer diaries. It was the worst thing that they possibly could have done. They should just said nothing. And this year, I think they're probably going to blow up Star Wars Battlefront 2. That's going to be the big keynote of this press conference. They might show a teaser for something else, but by teaser I mean they're probably going to have another developer diary, because I don't think they learned. They don't learn about these dumb things. There was that indie game fee that we have not seen since, that they announced that they're going to be doing more games like Unravel, EA Originals, which is pretty cool, but fee didn't look that good to me. And of course, the big staple of this thing was Battlefield 1, which I think it looked fantastic. As you saw in the beginning of this this video here, you saw my favorite worst moment from last year. Just Zac Efron and Jamie Foxx, just, you can tell that they were paid to be there and they don't want to be there, and it's just this fake enthusiasm, or they're high or something. Just fantastic. Anyway, Battlefield 1, I did not really care about the Battlefield franchise before. I did like Battlefield 1 a lot. Now that, like, a story campaign that went all over the place, and it was beautiful. And I hope they do a good job with Battlefront 2 this year, which I'm definitely more hyped about. What else could they be showing at EA? I don't know. I think Star Wars is going to be the forefront of everything. They might show that other BioWare game that they kind of teased earlier in the year, but I'm not sure. Let's move next to Bethesda, which coincidentally is the second worst press conference of last year. And it's not that it's terrible, it's just reflecting on it. There wasn't a lot of things that came out that I enjoyed. Quake Champions, I think there's been an alpha or a beta. People have been able to play it. I never played Quake, so it doesn't do anything for me then or now. There was that card game, The Elder Scrolls Legends, which I don't like card games, so whatever. I did not like Fallout 4 as much as I thought, so the DLC I did not play, no appeal to me. What was appealing was the VR, which hasn't come out for 4 or Doom. Maybe that makes a comeback here. Maybe they show that with Scorpio for Microsoft, kind of teasing the next press conference. So there was that stuff. There was the Skyrim HD, which was cool. I played a bit of that, but you know, just diminishing returns. Still a fantastic game, but I didn't want to sink too much time into it because there's so many other games to play that are new. Prey was a cool reveal, and it had a good first 3 to 4 hours, and then I got pretty bored with it. It has some issues, as I talked about in my review. And then of course Dishonored 2, which I really like the first game, but the second game just did not do it for me. I didn't really like the dual protagonist thing. I think that may have hurt it a little bit. And it seemed just a bit harder, but not harder as in, I don't know, it was frustrating in different ways that I liked about the first game, but this one it was just kind of weird. What are we going to see this year? They're probably going to be talking about Quake a lot. They might announce a release date for that. They kind of teased in an opening text scroll about Wolfenstein, so we're probably going to see Wolfenstein, because it's way too early to show off anything. Arcane's not going to be able to show off anything. They're not going to show anything Fallout related or Elder Scrolls. So the big hope, besides Wolfenstein, is Evil Within 2. I really want that game. I think that first game is very underappreciated, so I'm crossing my fingers for that. Okay, we move from Sunday into Monday, and we begin with Microsoft, which had a lot of stuff. So first we have the Xbox One S, which was a very sleek model. I like that. Gears of War 4, never really got into that series, but that was a good demo. The one game that really had me intrigued because of the involvement with the Mega Man guy, which is slipping my mind at the moment, but ReCore, because it looked like a Mega Man Legends in all but name, not exactly, but kind of gameplay and a little bit of Metroid in there. So I was very hopeful that that was going to be a big thing, and then it came out and it was a flop. It just is literally unfinished, completely unfinished. There's assets in there for another robot, and it's just so sad. It's so glitchy. It's just, Microsoft just has a weird, we'll get into it more with a couple other games. Final Fantasy 15, I was very nervous because the boss battle thing did not go well on stage, but it came out, loved that game. Then they talked about a bunch of indie games like Inside and We Have a Few. The one that I really want is Cuphead, that hasn't come out, but I played Inside and it was fine. I liked Limbo a little bit more. And We Have a Few, just no appeal to me, really at all. Gwent, no appeal, even though I love The Witcher 3 a lot, just I don't like card games, I said. Tekken 7 was a cool reveal on stage with Akuma versus Heihachi. I just played a little bit of it. I don't really have a full opinion, but it's still a very fun fighting game. Dead Rising 4 I played a little bit of, and it's just, I don't like that series. It's, I don't know, something's wrong about it. But anyway, as I was teasing earlier, Scalebound. Xbox, every single year, Microsoft has all these big exclusives, and then before the next E3, they either cancel them, or they just don't talk about them ever again, or they release them and they're, you know, unfinished. ReCore, they made a big deal about that, then they released it, and it wasn't even finished. Scalebound, they hyped that up a lot, and now it's not coming out. There was also Crackdown 3, which has made an appearance again since that one E3, like 2015, 14, something like that. And of course, we actually had a shutdown of Lionhead Studios. Not just the Fable game, the entire studio shut down. That is so weird. But anyway, let's move on to Sea of Thieves. That trailer really did anything for me, just that fake enthusiasm, or maybe it was real enthusiasm, I don't know. State of Decay 2. I enjoyed the first game. I'm eagerly anticipating what this could be. It's the zombie game that I wanted more than Dead Rising. And I actually bought an Xbox One S when Halo Wars 2 came out. I got a bundle with that and the original Halo Wars, and it's pretty fun. And now I'm kind of enjoying the Xbox One. Still like the PS4 more, but there's a lot of great things about the Xbox One S or Xbox One altogether. But I hope I didn't waste my money for the Project Scorpio, which I am the most nervous about. I don't like the PS4 Pro. I don't like the idea of it. I don't like the idea of the Project Scorpio if it's on a new system. It just seems very, very weird to me, and I'm nervous for what they show for Project Scorpio, and they say, works best in Project Scorpio, or look at the whatever. In terms of stuff that we're going to see, obviously Project Scorpio, we're probably going to see, the big game that they're going to show off for that is obviously Halo 6. Of all those games I already mentioned, I don't think we're going to see another one. No Gears of War, nothing like that. Maybe the next Forza, I would say. In terms of third party, what they would get to go on stage, I'm thinking probably Kingdom Hearts, since they had 15 last year. I think that would be a big explosion, and they would also announce, you know, maybe an Xbox One collection for Kingdom Hearts, because 3 is still being developed for Xbox One. I can't really think of anything else. Nothing about Rare, nothing, maybe indie games, maybe Cuphead will be like a Shadow Drop release, that would be amazing, but probably not. But that's Microsoft. The next show, of course, was Ubisoft. And there's a lot of also kind of middling in here. Ghost Recon Wildlands, I did not really care for. South Park The Fractured But Whole, I'm super hyped for, but it got delayed twice since this thing came out. In the press conference they said December 6th, I believe. And then it was sometime this year, early April, or just sometime in spring. And now it's got delayed into the fall again. So crossing my fingers doesn't get delayed again. They showed some VR stuff, like with Eagle Flight and the Star Trek Bridge Crew. Do not care. For Honor, I like what they showed there, and after playing it, I did like it for a bit, but kind of like Prey, it kind of wore thin to me, I suppose. I can't believe they spent so much time talking about the Assassin's Creed movie, and after that they talked about they're making a Watch Dogs 2 movie, or just a Watch Dog movie with Sony. That's just insane. Assassin's Creed should have been an amazing movie. There are like 6 to 10 minutes of that thing that are amazing. The rest is just garbage. I hope they don't spend any time with like, I can't think of his name, James Cameron with Avatar, like they did for that one E3, because that was boring, but since he is making all those movies, you know that Ubisoft will probably be making a game for that too, which I'm kind of dreading. And then speaking of Watch Dogs 2, it didn't really grab me. I didn't really like the characters, really, was my big problem with it. And then they ended with Steep, and it was okay. I was looking for more of an SXX kind of sport thing, and it was kind of clunky because you had to be online. But what are they going to show? Well, the big focus is obviously going to be on the Egyptian Assassin's Creed, and I guess, geez, what has been absent for a long time? Well, there's that Mario Rabbids crossover that they'll probably show here, or maybe they'll give a little bit of a teaser here, and then it'll actually be played at Nintendo. And then for Dark Horse, I'm thinking maybe a Splinter Cell sequel, reboot, whatever. I loved Blacklist so much, and that's kind of what I wanted from Ghost Recon Wildlands, but it just didn't hold up to my standards, I guess. So I think that'll be like the big final reveal. Alright, now we get to my bread and butter, Sony, which was best conference last year. But it was a lot of shadow and mirrors kind of thing, because a lot of the games have not been seen since. Are we going to see them again? Way too early in development. They can get a lot of hype around these things, but is that better than actually just focusing on games that are coming out in that year, or just that year beyond? It's, yeah, they do a good job with the magic tricks. But full orchestra, beautiful, God of War. I'm actually excited for that game because I liked 1 and 2, and I just, you know, diminishing returns because Kratos is a dick. Hopefully he's not so much of a dick in this game. Last Guardian final reveal. I didn't really, that game was okay. Horizon Zero Dawn, great showing, great game that came out this year. De Toi, Become Human, because, you know, it's French, so it's De Toi. I'm a huge David Cage fan. Defender, I guess I should say. And I think this game, good or bad, is going to be marvelous. I'm guessing this fall. Resident Evil 7 was just like a masterful out of the blue. That game was kicked off 2017 in such a superb way. I'm guessing there's going to be like a shadow drop for the DLC that's going to be coming, you know, after the press conference is live. Here's hoping for that. PlayStation VR, I really wanted to actually play that game in PlayStation VR, and you know, they supported it up front when that game, you know, or that system launched, and it's been kind of quiet ever since. Actually, VR in general just seems to be quiet, which is predictable. I didn't think it was going to really catch on. It's just so expensive. I think it's too early for them to announce a price drop. But yeah, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare that actually looked better than when it actually came out. I was a little sour that game. It just felt too samey. Even the space stuff was like, I've seen it before. I was most hyped probably after Resident Evil 7 for Crash Bandicoot being on stage. That was amazing. I got so excited. And then they announced they're just remaking the originals, which is fine because I don't think I really want a new Crash Bandicoot. A remaster, which is coming out at the end of this month, looks phenomenal. I am really, really excited to get going on that. And that Skylanders Imaginators was kind of cool. I love my Crash figure, I guess, but Death Stranding, Hideo Kojima coming on stage, that was also masterful. That game's not coming out until 2050-11. So whatever, who knows what Death Stranding really is. I don't think we'll be seeing that. Spider-Man, I actually think that's going to be a big focus on this one because that was just kind of a teaser last year. And even though it's not going to come out when the movie is out on the 2nd of July or whatever that is, somewhere early in July, I do think that might be another fall game. Because I know God of War got delayed into 2018. Detroit might be 2018 as well, I'm not sure. But I would guess it would be Spider-Man and Detroit for this fall. I'm sorry if you guys are just shutting this thing up because I keep on saying Detroit when it's Detroit. It's just, you know that's how he says it. And then Days Gone, that might be a fall game as well. I'm not sure what to really think of that game. I'm not really a huge fan of bikers. There's a lot of zombie games, so I guess we'll see. In terms of actually, you know, predictions, I think it's about time we see The Order 1887, another series, or another game I should say, that got unfairly treated. I think that game is amazing. It has problems, yes, but hopefully a sequel will do good on that. I also think it's high time for Sucker Punch to come back. I don't want another Infamous. I just want them to make a new IAP. Just like Guerrilla Games, you know, Killzone was fun, but it kind of dragged on for too long, and then they made a new IP, and that was amazing. I'm so glad. I really want a Kingdom Hearts thing here too, and Final Fantasy, but I know we're not going to be getting that. And if we do, if we see any Final Fantasy at all, it's gonna be me. I couldn't help myself. But I think it's probably going to be Final Fantasy 16, as crazy as that is to say. I don't actually think it's going to be Final Fantasy 16. I'm saying of all the Final Fantasy things that could ever happen, it would be 16, and it would be another amazing, oh, I can't believe they showed 16, that's so cool. And then in the back of their mind, like way later on, you're like, wait a minute, that game isn't even in development yet, and it doesn't be another thing where people applaud Sony for doing great things and they actually just use, you know, shadow tricks and stuff like that. The other one thing I'm really hoping for, and I guess this is the best place to put it, is Mega Man Legends. Please, they have an establishment with Capcom to make some of these things. Please pick up that Mega Man and make Mega Man Legends 3, or just a reboot or a remake or something. Oh my god. I would jump through, I would Wile E. Coyote myself out of this room right now. I would make a print on the wall because I'd be so excited. But yeah, I'm super excited for things to start off with EA tomorrow. I think it's gonna be bad for EA again. I just don't think they learned the lesson. I think there's gonna be a lot of sports. There's probably be some sim stuff in there. The only thing I'm gonna be looking forward to is Star Wars. But there you have it. I've droned on for too long, and well, here's to E3 2017. Did you know that was a Reaction Examiner video? If you liked it, you should subscribe to me to keep up with everything that I'm doing. Also, if you have some other interests, like sex for example, check out Tomops, which is a comedy sex podcast thing wherein my best friend and I check out the weird and abnormal and the erotic. And of course, you should support me on Patreon because, hey, I want to make the channel better and I want your help to do so. Plus, if you want to check out my writing, check out Game Jerk, where I have archives and new stuff for all projects, okay? You can find all the stuff and more in the description with the links below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all next time.